Good morning, everyone. This is Debbie with Think Healthcare Solutions. Choices about healthcare and the Healthitude Academy. So this is day 8 of the 12-day challenge. 8-day challenge. We have 17 days till Christmas. Can you imagine? So we've talked about people having a hard time during this time of year. We've talked about a few other things. So let's continue on discussing how we get through the holidays. Now, if you're having a big gathering with the family or whatever, and you might be the person in charge, along with your full-time job, your kids, and whatever else that may be going on in your world. Or you could be in an area that's still kind of hunkered down a little bit, and maybe you need to schedule some Skype time or whatever to get everyone together to at least enjoy that time of year, or this time of year. Then I apologize. I keep saying this morning. At face value, we love our family. We just don't always want to be around the family for different reasons. One of which is, I'm sure that every family has Uncle Joe, or whatever you want to title this person, that seems to antagonize, intentionally or not, can be kind of problematic. If you have several, I feel sorry for you. No, I'm just, but there's different things that we all have to endure during this time of year, and some of us dread the gathering for many different reasons. If you have a family that struggles with being a joy during this time of year, then I might encourage a few little pointers. I'm writing an article, I should have it done today, that I will post out on the website. But in the meantime, trying to get through the holiday without any major disagreements or implosions can be a challenge. But with a few good pointers, I might suggest laying a few ground rules. For example, if politics is a sore subject that comes up in your family, make a rule. No politics. Or discussing, different kinds of vehicles. Whatever that trigger might be in your family, just lay that out there. This is a time for other things than those discussions we can have any other day of the week. I think that's the biggest suggestion I can give you, besides being organized and sharing the burden. Now, having said that, usually this person, the antagonist in the room, or antagonists, may see that as a challenge. So, in the event of that happening, what else can we do? Well, everyone else can do triggers of deflecting. Like, if you used to argue about a point that person brings up, do you just say, oh, okay, and say, hey, do you remember last Christmas or Christmas 10 years, whatever, and bring up something different? In other words, divert. And just smile about it. Don't get upset. Don't stress over it. You know it happens, but just move forward. And it might take a couple of you to kind of practice that challenge of, and it might be helpful to have another player in your court just kind of smoothing through things as they arise. Now that person may come back later and say, oh, and bring something else up, and just go That's a great point. But do you know, and then whatever it is you can come up with to divert the situation and deflect it. The other thing that I think is really important, and I kind of alluded this in another video, that, this is a hard time for everyone. And everyone, or not everyone, but for some, or many. But sometimes there might be a situation that might be happening that the person may reflect on, may get a little upset, and might kind of what you call snap at you about something. And I think that's some of the events that take place that we get into arguments that probably weren't as big as they were and how they ended up, but because of our mindset and where we might be in our moment can escalate something that really wasn't anything. So, like, for example, if a simple thing like, hey, do you want me to put these on the table? And somebody goes, I don't care what, whatever. Don't take it personal. Step back. And the other thing I encourage you is just take a big deep breath and move on. Don't react to it, because it's more than likely not driven at you, just at the moment and whatever's going on. And a lot of times I think we hone in on that and react when we probably didn't really need to. Now, I'm not saying ignore everything on the planet, but I'm just saying for this day, you're going to focus on positive and getting through without major events. Now, the other thing is if your family does drink, you might want to be mindful and watch the amount, because you want to stay a little bit in control so that you can divert and deflect when these moments come up. I mean, if you're going to be a player in the game, you got to be prepared. And having too many, you're not going to be prepared. And save that for a different day. And especially if you have kids around, you just want this to be an enjoyable time, and let's get through it and have the best. Especially if you're traveling and you've not seen this family. I mean, a lot of times if you're seeing your family day in and day out, it's kind of like, but it's still a special time and a day of reflection. Some of the fun things is, so you want to stay focused on positive. If a negative comes up, divert it. It's amazing how much lighter the day can be by diverting instead of reacting and imploding. You may be full aware of family members that are struggling. They've lost a loved one that year, or whatever the case may be. Be mindful of that and prepared to support. And some of the things that you can do is lead by example and have things ready to discuss, to bring up. Like, hey, do you remember Christmas, back in 1902? I'm just kidding. Reflect on, past experiences. Maybe if your family doesn't play games, maybe this is a good time to do it. Because otherwise you're just sitting around finding topics, and those avoidable topics come up, and you don't have as good a control. So consider playing a game. We love our family night. We do a family night, game night once a week, and that's an enjoyable time. And all the barriers are, you're focused on the game. You're not focused on what's on the TV. You're not focused on the latest news. It's an alternative to sitting around just chit-chatting, which can lead way to those avoidable conversations. And remember to lead by example. Prepare yourself to have those lines to bring up. Hey, remember Christmas when we got to Grandma's house and whatever. Now, you don't want. Remember this: the past is the past. In other words, if someone has offended you, or if you're still irritated at Aunt May, leave it at the door. The past is the past. We don't need to dredge it up in that regard. Now, talking about fun moments in the past is totally different. I'm talking about hurt feelings, being mad about things. This isn't the day for that. And that could get you into a little bit of trouble as far as staying positive. If Uncle Joe still insists on bringing something up, agree to disagree and move on. Cut it short, divert. Oh, here's one. And if all else fails, try bribery. I don't know what you do, but if there's one soul that you just can't control, you may have to bribe them. Please, for, I don't know, whatever you can come up with. And the other thing is in the event that triggers come your way, remember to focus on your reaction and not the other person's reactions. In other words, you need to keep yours in check. And and again, when you're reacting to someone else's, don't take it personal. Keep in mind, people react and have feelings. And like I said, a lot of times that's what some of the fights that evolve are. They're actually really, really dumb because misunderstood, mistaken, and then we have pride gets in the way, and then it just becomes an explosion. So just a few little tidbits. The other thing is if you're the crazy person that organizes everything and you need help this year, reach out and get others to step in and help you out. It takes a lot of the load off and can be just as fun. Now, if you're the crazy one that's what you do, then, don't try not to put your burdened overload on others. So keep that in mind. Until tomorrow, be well and be safe.